Hi guys, how we going? I just got back from Wookey Hole. I've been in Wookey Hole, which is quite near to where I live. It's these ancient caves. It's Father's Day, and then after that we had a treat and we went for a curry. So I've just got back and my tummy is full of curry. And they nearly tricked me into having chocolate, but I'm on a diet. No chocolate for me. So I want to carry on. I already did the part 1 and the part 2, I think. And I want to carry on talking about Riley Keough and Danny Keough, her father. So I'm a little bit confused because I did part 1, part 2. Then it kept cutting out on me. So my internet, if it does cut out, guys, I'm really sorry. And I'll just do a part 2 and a part 3 and a part 4. And I'll just keep doing it in segments. I have ordered a new Wi-Fi dongle, so I'm hoping that stops my internet cutting out. But it tends to be cutting out every 15 minutes. So I'm really sorry, guys. My name's Louis. I'm from Southwest UK. I'm a very, very serious Elvis fan. I love Elvis to my core. So, and by the way, if any of you have been messaging me, thank you very much. I appreciate all the positive comments. You've given me some lovely comments about my kids. And I really appreciate the nice comments you're giving me about my channel and my live streams. And I'm just trying to speak from the heart. I'm trying to learn with you guys. I'm enjoying your feedback, and the comments you're giving me is educating me about Elvis. And I've had some very good comments telling me different details about Elvis and his life, about Priscilla and the wrongdoing that she has done to Elvis. And just some great comments that are really helping me on my channel. And I'd be lost without your comments, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to start reading from the top. I really hope it doesn't cut out. But if it does cut out, I will just restart it and do a part 2 and a part 3. So from the top. So here's a picture of them. I know you can't really see it very well on your end, guys. Please let me know your name and where you're from. Maybe even what time it is. In the country you're in. And I know my sons are upstairs. They're celebrating. England, I think, at the moment are winning on the Euros. So if you're into football, I'm not really into football, but my son is. Giovanni, his name is. And I can hear him cheering. So he's cheered twice. Does that mean they've scored twice? Don't know. The England Euro football. I know in America you call it soccer, yeah? So it's very exciting for them. Valerie Huber, California. Hi, Valerie. Do you watch soccer? I doubt you probably don't, but there's a big match happening right now as we speak, and my sons are upstairs watching it. Nice to meet you, Valerie, in California. Right, many people know Riley Keough as the daughter of Lisa Marie Presley. Yeah, I'm not into football. This is my son's. I'm into Elvis. Right, let's have a look. Riley Keough as the daughter of Lisa Marie Presley and granddaughter of famed King of Rock and Roll Elvis Presley. But the comparison, the actor's father, Danny Keough, mostly stays out of the spotlight. So, yeah, football doesn't do it for me. It never has, to be honest with you. I'm going to try and learn about Danny, and let's just see Danny Keough. All I know is that Lisa Marie was still living with him, and that he was the second person to find her, and I think he tried to resuscitate her, and they had stayed very close friends, even though, and she did say that she regretted splitting up for him, and I think that after Danny Keough, she married Michael Jackson. Is that correct? I'm not sure. I'm learning as I go. Right, I'm just on a live, guys. Right, okay, right. So let's have a look. So, daughter Lisa Marie Presley and granddaughter of the famed King of Rock and Roll Elvis Presley, but the comparison, the actor's father Danny Keough mostly stayed out of the spotlight. Rio, what's the score? 1-0. 1-0. So it's 1-0. If you're an England fan, guys, it's 1-0 to England. Danny, an actor and a long-time musician, is the first ex-husband of Lisa Marie and father to Riley and her late brother. Benjamin Keough, even after his 1994 divorce from Lisa Marie, Danny played an active role in Riley's childhood and made a name for himself as a singer, a guitarist. The father and daughter have also remained close through the family's recent tragedies, including Lisa Marie's unexpected death in January. Hi, Raiwan in New Zealand. Oh, that's an unusual one. Hiya, nice to meet you. I'm Louis. I'm in Southwest UK, and I'm learning about Riley Keough and her father because it's Father's Day. I thought, let's learn about Riley's father. Right, let's have a look. So let's keep going. And I'm just Googling it and reading it to you guys, and we can learn together. So Danny Keough's early life. According to People, Danny Keough was born in November the 6th, 1964 in Chicago to parents Francis and Janet Keough. He had one sibling, a younger brother named Tom. Keough was involved with the Church of Scientology from an early age. And I've heard that Lisa Marie Presley met Danny at Scientology at an event. So just so you guys know, I'm not into Scientology. It doesn't do it to me. It sounds like a cult to me. It's quite weird. I have no interest in Scientology, but it's part of the story because I think that Riley Keough and Danny and are still involved in it. Are they? You tell me, guys. Is Priscilla still part of Scientology? You tell me, guys. I'm not sure. Was Scientology the thing that messed up Benjamin's head? Yeah, I heard that, Valerie. So it didn't. I don't think it did Lisa Marie any good, did it? I know if you look at her early interviews, she praises Scientology that it helped her through some bad patches, but I'm not convinced, guys, because I think she got out, didn't she, eventually? And it definitely couldn't have done Benjamin any good because we know how that turned out, as sad as that is. Anyway, let's just keep reading. I think Danny Keough's mother was heavily into Scientology, I think, yeah? Because I was reading this the other day. So let's have a look. After his parents' divorce, Janet married a Scientologist named Alan Hollander. Isn't he a well-known Scientologist? The couple confounded the Delphian School. Right here, I read about this. The couple co-founded the Delphian School. So Danny Keough's mother was a co-founder of the Delphian School, which I think is a private Scientology academy in Sheridan, Oregon, in the early 1970s. So Janet served as the school administrator following her divorce from Hollander, with Danny and Tom later graduating from the academy. So these people were heavily into Scientology, weren't they? And I'm interested to know just how heavily into Scientology Riley Keough is, because I mean she seems lovely, and I've been looking at her career and her movies and her modeling career, and I've watched a lot of her interviews, and she never mentioned Scientology. So let's see what comes out from what we're reading here together. Let's have a look. Hi, Leon. It's Joe in Los Angeles, California. Hi, Joe. Nice to meet you, mate. I'm in Southwest UK. We're getting to know Riley Keough and Danny Keough. Right. So Keough moved to Los Angeles in 1984. Let's have a look. A Scientologist who knew the siblings told people in 1988 that Keough was a bit of a rebellious youngster, but had a relatively normal upbringing. Danny was a great kid with a great life, dogs, friends, and sports and music. And they said he is a very talented musician and extremely good looking. So he's moved to Los Angeles in 1984, and his involvement with Scientology would ultimately bring him and to Lisa Marie Presley, and that's what brought them together. The fact that they were educated through Scientology. So I know you guys have got very strong views about Priscilla shipping Lisa Marie Presley off to Scientology at a very young age. Was this something to do with John Travolta? And I, like you guys, I am against the fact that Lisa Marie was shipped off to Scientology. I think it was a massive mistake. I don't like it. And I think it did a lot of harm. That's just my opinion. Anyway, marriage to Lisa Marie Presley. Keough and Lisa Marie Presley, so Danny and Lisa Marie Presley, met in 1985 at Church of Scientology Celebrity Center. The organization, large spiritual and residential complex catering to celebrities and important figures, where she lived in an apartment. Still a teenager, Presley had dropped out of high school and began abusing illegal drugs. And I heard about this, that Lisa went through a very bad patch, was drinking, was smoking, was into illegal drugs. And Priscilla didn't know what to do, and she turned to Scientology. I personally don't think that was the answer, but did it help her stop going through this bad patch? Maybe. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Let's keep reading. And she went to the Celebrity Center to undergo rehabilitation. Keough, who was in her early 20s, so Danny worked as a house musician at Mad Hatter's studio in Los Angeles and played at various gigs around the city while they were dating. He also painted houses to earn extra money, and he and Priscilla moved from place to place. And I've heard that Riley Keough's upbringing with Danny was quite unusual. So she would go and stay at his, and he would stay in cabins. He would sleep on a mattress on the floor in his apartment, and he just had an unusual lifestyle. So she would go from Danny's lifestyle, which was almost like a poor person, and she thought that Daniel was poor. But then she would go to this luxurious lifestyle, even living at Michael Jackson's place, Netherlands, as well. So she would go from one extreme to the other. But she says that she loved going and staying with Daniel because of the lifestyle he had was very simple. Anyway, the pair married on October the 3rd, 1988, when Presley was only 20 years old. The following spring, they welcomed their daughter, Danielle Riley Keough. So Riley Keough's real name is Danielle. Did any of you know that? I tell you, I didn't know that. Danielle. So Riley Keough, the actress, the singer, the model, her real name is Danielle. On May the 29th, 1989, their second child, Benjamin, followed 3 years later. So they had a 3-year age gap. On October the 21st, 1992, Benjamin was born, God rest his soul. But the marriage only lasted about 6 years. Presley told Mary Curry in 2007 that resentment formed over their financial situation. I had more than he did, and it became a power struggle. She said, it is hard for a man to be with a woman who is stronger, wealthier. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I know I'll get with someone more compatible. They divorced in spring 1994, and within 3 weeks, Presley married pop icon Michael Jackson in the Dominican Republic, which she went on to call the biggest mistake of her life. And I've seen this interview where she actually says that she regrets splitting up from Daniel Keough, who to me, from the interviews I've seen, he seemed like a really nice guy, and he was really there for her. And when everything was going wrong, and when Benjamin died, unfortunately, he was straight there and they lived together till the day she died. And I think the housekeeper found Lisa Marie had a heart attack, and Daniel rushed to her and tried to revive her. So it's very sad. And I find it very interesting that when they split up, within weeks, she's getting married to Michael Jackson. And we all know that that was just a mistake. We all know that Lisa Marie Presley marrying Michael Jackson was ridiculous. Do you agree, guys? It was just wrong. And who knows why that happened. But in interviews, she does say that she did have periods where she thought she loved him. And I think when they first got together, they did get on very well. But it all got very complicated. And they just grew distant and knew it was a mistake very quickly. I'm going to do a completely separate video about Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley. That's for a different one. Right, let's have a look. So following Keough and Presley's divorce, Riley and Benjamin split time between their mother's homes in Los Angeles and at Graceland and their father's residence in LA and Hawaii. Riley detailed her father's frugal lifestyle in a 2017 interview with The Guardian, revealing that he slept on a mattress on the floor of his apartment. Still, his memories of growing up with him were so colorful and eccentric and fun. It was a good vibe. So she liked it. Riley Keough liked Daniel's lifestyle. Although Keough hasn't been in the spotlight as much in recent years, Riley occasionally posts photos of him to her Instagram account. The father and daughter also worked together when Riley starred in The Lodge. So that, obviously that's one of her films. And if you want to watch a free film of Riley Keough, it's on YouTube and it's called The Good Doctor. It's actually quite good. Look it up. The Good Doctor on YouTube. It's quite a interesting film and definitely makes you think, that film, and it's completely free. So he joined the cast in a supporting role in 2019 horror film which grossed more than $3 million worldwide. So the film they're talking about is The Lodge. In May of this year, he was seen publicly for the first time since Lisa Marie's death with Riley and her young daughter at Calabasas. They were spotted leaving a market with a pair of drinks in hand. Given his cordial relationship with Lisa Marie through the years, it is likely Keough will continue to be there for Riley as family and career continue to blossom. So, you know, you can tell that there's a proper bond there, a proper love there between father and daughter, I think. Right, let's keep going. Keough and Lisa Marie always maintained a close connection, even after their divorce and through later marriages to actor Nicolas Cage. And I'm going to do a video on Lisa Marie Presley's marriages, each one of them. So the one to Nicolas Cage, and then the music producer, Michael Lockwood, who obviously is the parent of Finley and Harper. So that's going to be an interesting video as well. They even worked together on stage with Keough becoming Presley's bass player in 2005 and mentoring her as she built her music career. So he's obviously quite a musical person. I think we know Riley Keough didn't actually see herself as being a musician or a singer, but that has changed. That has changed through her new series that was released on Netflix. Is it Daisy Chain and the Six? So anyway, Presley likened their bond to a brother-sister relationship. Ultimately, this is a good message to send out to people. So Lisa Marie Presley and Daniel Keough, in the end, stayed close friends. So it's true, you can still stay friends with your ex, even after a divorce. Ultimately, this is a good message to send out to people. You don't have to put up with crap from your kids, even if you are not together, she told people. You can still be civilized. I knew at the age that I had kids with him that Danny was someone I could be connected with for the rest of my life. And I think Lisa Marie Presley did feel that she had kids too young. Tragedy struck the family when Benjamin died by suicide on July the 12th, 2020. And that is just so sad, so sad. And I actually find it quite difficult to talk about Benjamin because I think the circumstances are terrible, terrible. It's the worst thing that anyone could go through, guys. I can't even imagine what Lisa Marie and Daniel Keough went through. It's like heartbreaking. Anyway, Priscilla Presley writing he was completely lost in a social media post. According to the US Sun, Lisa Marie was racked with guilt over Benjamin's death and sold her nearly $2 million property in Calibre, California in 2020. By the following year, her and her twin daughters, Harper and Finley, had moved in with Danny amid her divorce proceedings with the fourth husband. And I heard this, that Lisa Marie couldn't bear to go in that house. Is it in Calabasas in California? None of them could bear to go back there after that horrific thing happened with Benjamin. Anyway, right, so let's have a look. So following the year, she and her twin daughters, Finley and Harper, had moved in with Danny amid the divorce proceedings with her fourth husband. Presley Keough was still living together at the time of her death. And we know this, guys. which shows they were very close. And she was just so unwell, wasn't she? And, you know, I think she had some kind of procedure with her stomach for weight loss. And I heard that she was back on opiates. And she'd had some serious problems with Priscilla. As we know, they hadn't spoken for 8 years. I think that things were very wrong between Priscilla and Lisa Marie right up until the day she passed, which is very sad. And I know that upsets many Elvis fans. So with Priscilla responds on the phone and attempted CPR so Daniel Keough attempted CPR when Presley was found unresponsive on January the 12th. She died of a cardiac arrest, later revealed to be caused by a small bowel obstruction. And I've heard this. And it's just a waste of life, isn't it, guys? Very, very sad. Very sad. So, right, well, that's the end of that article. Let's look into Riley Keough. I mean, Daniel does seem like a nice guy. Let's learn a bit more about Riley. So, let's have a look. Daniel Riley Keough, so her name's Danielle, is an American actress. She made her feature film debut in a supporting part in the musical biopic The Runaways. I haven't seen that, The Runaways, portraying Mary Curry Keough, subsequently starred in an independent thriller, The Good Doctor. Now, look that up on YouTube, guys. Very good. Before being cast in a minor role, Steven Soderbergh's comedy film, Magic Mike. Magic Mike. Okay, let's keep going. Let's find some more things out about Riley Keough. Danielle Riley Keough. So, actress model Danielle Keough was born in Santa Monica, California, to musicians Lisa Marie Presley and Danny Keough. Let's see what comes up when we click on it. Let's see if we can learn anything new from this bit. She is the eldest grandchild of legendary singer Elvis Presley, of course, and actress Priscilla Presley. Keough started modeling as a teenager. She first appeared on The Runaways for Dolce & Gabbana. She has also appeared on the cover of Vogue with her mother and grandmother. Keough began her acting career in 2010 when she won the role of Mary Curry in The Runaways. Other roles, The Good Doctor, Jack and Diane, and Steven Soderbergh's Magic Mike. I can't say his name. She has been married to Ben Smith Peterson since February the 4th, 2015. They have one child. And isn't he a stuntman? I don't know much about her partner. And was he on Mad Max Fury, the film that she was in? And wasn't he one of the stuntmen? Am I getting the right guy? So, children's name, I think we all know this as Elvis fans. She named her Tupelo Storm Smith Peterson. And I think we see her partner walking alongside her. He looks like a bodyguard. I think he was at the Golden Globe Awards, was he? And there were some other awards as well. Following the death of her mother, Lisa Marie Presley, in 2023, she and her half-sister Harper and Finley Lockwood inherited their mother's stake in Elvis Presley's, as well as ownership of Graceland, which is held in a trust, and all of her personal effects. All right, let's have a look. Right, let's see what she says. Quotes. Music is my favorite thing in the world. I grew up completely around it, and I think one of the most important things to me. But at this point, I can't see myself doing the professionally. Luckily, for the most part, I don't feel pressured. Life changes so quickly, feeling grateful to be around such wonderful people and strengthen and grow with. I feel like Mad Max, the original Mad Max, created such a vivid world that to go back and reimagine it and kind of replay it in that sandbox sounded like fun to me. Now, I tried to watch that Mad Max. I didn't really like it. I think acting is fun thing because you get to have so many lifetimes in one lifetime being all of these different people. I'm kind of shy and quiet, but I'm only shy in my personal life. If I'm working somehow, I'm not, and it goes away. Fair enough. My favorite brands: Celine for its simple elegance, Louis Vuitton, Prada. My favorite style of icon, Jimi Hendrix. I am allowed to say that. I just love all the jewelry he wore and all of his elaborate colors. I like anyone who dresses in an interesting way. If I could raid anyone's closet, it would be my mum's. She's got the most beautiful coats and shoes I very seldom get to borrow. It would be fun to tear apart the entire thing and to make my point. That's it. Hello, I hear a child. This is Tino. You right, Tino?
Yes.
You enjoying your phone?
Yes.
They're all addicted to their phones, guys. You're lucky because we've been out all day. We've had a brilliant day today for Father's Day. Right, let's have a look. Riley Keough's net worth seems kind of complicated due to Elvis's estate. Riley inherited Graceland after her mother Mary Presley's passing. With Riley Keough own Graceland? Yes, she does. So as far as I know, Riley Keough owns Graceland and its contents and the land around it. But controlling Gracelands is Elvis Presley Enterprises. Elvis Presley Enterprises is 85% owned by Joel Weishampfer and 15% owned by Riley Keough. But Elvis Presley Enterprises controls Graceland. A lot of people don't know that. Yes, Riley is the owner, and eventually it will be with Finley and Harper, but she doesn't control Graceland. She only 15% controls Graceland. So it's quite a complex thing here. What does Riley say about Michael Jackson? I had a real love for Michael. Keough said of the Thriller singer, she recalled that he really got a kick out of being able to make people happy in the most epic way possible, like how Jackson once had a toy store in Europe shut down so that he could buy a teddy bear. Okay. Does Riley Keough have a baby? Amid the heartache of saying goodbye to her mother, Lisa Marie Presley, in January, Riley Keough and her husband Ben Smith Peterson revealed they have a daughter, and we know she's called Tupelo Smith Peterson. Right. Does Riley have a partner? Yes, we know that. Ben Smith Peterson. She met him in February. No, they got married 2015 in Australia. Yes, he is a stuntman in Napa, California. Having announced their engagement the previous year, the couple had met while filming Mad Max Fury. Their daughter Tupelo was born on August the 22nd. Now, August 2022. So Elvis was the coolest man ever who walked the earth. He sure was. Hey, honey, what's your name? My name's Louis. I'm just trying to sort of learn about Riley Keough. I don't know enough about her and a bit about her father because it's Father's Day. I thought I'd learn a bit about Danny Keough as well. So I'm learning as I go and I'm learning with you guys. Let's have a look. Has Riley Keough locked Priscilla out of Graceland? A representative for Graceland has since denied this, telling Entertainment Tonight these reports are entirely untrue. Did Riley Keough attend the funeral? I'm guessing of her mother. According to Radar, Riley attending the memorial but was unable to step up to the stage and read the letter that she wrote for her mother called A Letter to My Mama. Instead, her husband, Ben Smith Peterson, was the person who read these kind words. And I've watched this on YouTube and it is very touching, very touching. And he does seem like a really nice guy. And he looks the kind of person that would make you feel very protected and safe. He just has that aura about him. Was Riley close to Lisa Marie? Well, we know the answer, but I'll read it. Lisa Marie opened up about her life with her children, calling her family just very normal. Despite their fame, Lisa Marie explained that she was very close with Riley and her other three children and considered them her best friends. Nice. Does Riley Keough get along with her grandmother? Now, that's a good question. Does she get along with Priscilla Presley? And I know you guys have got strong views about Priscilla. Let's have a look. Amid rumours about any contention between the two women, yes. I think he's upstairs. Yeah, he's watching the football. I think Mum's coming home now as well. Amid rumours about any contention between the two women, Keough is setting the record straight about her relationship with her grandmother. Things with grandma will be happy. Keough tells Vanity Fair they've never not been happy. Do you believe that, guys? I doubt it. I've had a big curry. My mouth's all dry. I was naughty today. I had ice cream as well, and I'm on a diet. I shouldn't be eating ice cream. How did Riley Keough meet her husband? Oh, that's interesting. Keough and Smith Peterson met on the set of Mad Max Fury Road. Keough talked about her love story with Vogue Australia in May 22. So the story goes that she flew to Australia on December 2013 to film reshoots for Mad Max. They had originally filmed in Namibia, where she first met Peterson. And I've heard, guys, that she actually had a boyfriend at the time. So he obviously, he turned her head by the sounds of things. She is stunning. She's a beautiful girl. That's an interesting one. Why is Priscilla Presley fighting with Riley Keough? Following Lisa Marie's death, Priscilla and Riley were estranged at a legal battle over who should and shouldn't be the trustee of her remaining estate, Elvis Presley Enterprises. They do not see eye to eye, a family insider told People in March. So I think many of you know this, that Priscilla Presley disputed. There was a change in, I'm trying to think of the word. So you got the trustee. So Priscilla was a trustee. I think Lisa Marie Presley basically said that if she died, that she wanted Priscilla removed as trustee. She wanted Barry Siegel removed as trustee. And then she wanted the new trustees to be Riley Keough, Benjamin, and Finley and Harper. And so Priscilla Presley disputed this change. I think that may have happened in 2016. And there's a whole story there where Barry Siegel and Priscilla Presley plotted to take over Elvis Presley Enterprises behind Lisa Marie's back. That's a whole different story. But anyway, I think that Lisa Marie Presley found out this was going on, and she put this new change in the trustee that on her death, that Priscilla would be removed and Barry Siegel will be removed. As it turns out, Barry Siegel dropped off anyway. And then so Priscilla then tried to dispute this and say it was not a signature, that it was fraud, and that they had not initialed the document. They had not shown Priscilla the document, and basically tried to say that it wasn't real. But guys, we know, right? He sure was, honey. Hey, honey. But we know, guys, that was a genuine change that Lisa Marie Presley did, and she wanted Priscilla off the trustee of Graceland and her 15% of Elvis Presley Enterprises. So I personally, my view, guys, is that Priscilla Presley was out of order, was completely in the wrong, trying to dispute it and almost having a lawsuit out on her own grandchild just after her daughter had died. Is so wrong, guys. So wrong. Should not have happened. And I think it's upset a lot of Elvis fans. And this thing that went on just before 2016, where Barry Siegel and Priscilla plotted to take over Elvis Presley Enterprises and have to take the control away from Lisa Marie, is out of order. Out of order. That is her granddaughter and her daughter. It should not have happened. So I know you Priscilla fans out there are not going to agree with me, but Priscilla has been very naughty and very underhanded and very greedy. So that's just my opinion as an Elvis fan at home, guys. Right, let's have a look. Keough and her family would visit Graceland over Thanksgiving, but they did not stay at the legendary mansion. According to VF, they quartered of the property official hotel, and after the tourists left for the day, they would descend upon the main grounds to drive golf carts and hang out. Well, that's pretty cool. They'd get on the golf carts and party. Let's have a look. Right. Who is Benjamin Keough buried next to? Lisa Marie Presley has been buried next to her son Benjamin Keough in the meditation garden at Graceland near her father, Elvis, the singer-songwriter who had died last Thursday, aged 54, and was laid to rest on the family plot at the King of Rock and Roll's Memphis mansion in private ceremony. Was Riley Keough the sole heir? And guys, I know a lot of you already know this, but I'm just reading it anyway because I find it interesting. In August 2023, after a series of legal proceedings regarding the custody of this estate, a Los Angeles, Californian judge ruled that Lisa's eldest daughter and Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Riley Keough, would be the sole heir to the exclusive Graceland estate, which Elvis purchased in 1957 for $102,500. So yes, Riley is the owner. Riley Keough. Danielle Riley Keough is the owner of Gracelands. When Priscilla started sleeping with Mike Stone, it took Elvis down. Hi, Joe. Yeah, I've really looked into all of these things, and I've found proof that Priscilla was actually seeing Mike Stone in 1971. Now, don't forget, they divorced in 1973. So Priscilla was being a very naughty girl way before the divorce. And when she did eventually publicly come out and leave, and Elvis divorced her, she paraded Mike Stone around to the press, in the magazines. There was even a TV appearance. And Priscilla was very out of order. And the way that she traumatized our poor Elvis by completely embarrassing him and degrading him and not caring about his feelings is disgusting. And, you know, I've got passionate views on how Priscilla treated Elvis and the way that they split up and the way she had an affair with the dance instructor, Steve Peck, in 68, not long after Lisa Marie was born. And she even took him to the 68 comeback show. And Elvis caught her having this affair with Steve Peck and took her on holiday and tried to resolve things. It just wasn't going to happen. And Elvis actually tried to forgive her for that affair with the dance instructor. But her thanks was not long later when they were on their, you know, like, she went to watch Mike Stone, some kind of karate exhibition with Elvis, and her thanks was to have an affair with him, even though Elvis was trying to help Priscilla and asked Mike Stone to give Priscilla karate lessons, and Priscilla's thanks was to sleep with him. It's disgusting. It's not how you treat, even if things were bad between Elvis and Priscilla, you don't go and have sex with your husband's friend when he tried to do you a favor and get you karate lessons. It's disgusting. And the pictures that I see of Mike Stone with Priscilla, and there's loads of them, looking really happy, Priscilla beaming smile just after the divorce, she should be ashamed of herself. She should be ashamed of herself. How can someone divorce someone? Bearing in mind, Elvis gave her a small fortune and she kept going back for more money. How can someone divorce someone and then parade themselves around the world with their new karate instructor boyfriend like that? It's disgusting. Mike Stone and Priscilla are both out of order. It's disgusting how they treated Elvis. Sorry, guys. Yeah, he was married and he had a pregnant wife. You're right. You're right, Valerie. It's terrible. Poor Elvis. You imagine what he went through. You imagine the trauma that caused to him. Yeah, we know he was angry. when he found out. And no wonder because Elvis, in the end, he wanted the divorce. He wanted her gone. But I will say this, that when Priscilla did leave Elvis, she was glad. She was happy. She really wanted her freedom. Priscilla wanted to get on with other men. She fancied other men. And she wanted money. She wanted a career. She wanted to be famous. She wanted to get into the TV industry. She wanted to make movies. She wanted to do modeling. She wanted to sell perfume, sell shampoo, do TV adverts. She couldn't wait to get famous, Priscilla. She loved it. She loved the fame and the money. And you know what? She didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve it. And Elvis was so generous and so kind. He just kept giving her more and more money because he couldn't say no because he worshipped his daughter, Lisa Marie. And he was just too kind and too nice. And people think that Elvis was unfaithful because he was just a bad guy. No, they had fallen out of love. If you break it down, she was only seeing Elvis in Germany for about 5 months. You do your homework and you research the short time they were. And when I say seeing, they weren't in a loving relationship. They were just very good friends in Germany in 1959. And Elvis was pouring his heart out to Priscilla because he needed someone to talk to that could speak English. And pouring his heart out about his mother and how he worried about his career and his future. And he worried about if he could do well in making movies. And they became very close. They had a very close connection. And Elvis really trusted Priscilla. But Elvis only was close friends with Priscilla for a short amount of time, just a matter of months. And then Elvis had to go in. By 1960, Elvis was back doing the Frank Sinatra special, making GI Blues, recording records for RCA Victor and getting on with his life. So before Priscilla moved over to America, it was like 1963, was it? 62, 63. She was 17 going on 18. And so you think about it, guys. Elvis was getting on with his life, yeah? And for whatever reason, the connection was kept. We don't know the whole story. We know that Priscilla kept sending letters, was sending him records. And yes, Elvis would phone Priscilla. And yes, Elvis did speak to Priscilla's parents. And eventually she visited. I think she visited at Christmas time. But she also visited another time. But eventually, by the time she was 17-ish, maybe nearer 18, somehow she got herself to America. But even then, you think about it. She moved to America around 63. But that whole story has been twisted because all she has done. Now you try and work it out between 63 and 68. Now remember, between 63 and 68, the things that happened. We know she got married in 67. We know in 68 Lisa Marie was born, and only weeks after Lisa Marie was born, she was unfaithful with the dance instructor. So you break down the relationship in years. I think that around 63, 64 was probably when Elvis had started seeing Anne Margaret on the set of Viva Las Vegas. Does that sound right to you guys? So you really break it down. When Priscilla plays the victim and says how unhappy she was and how tough her life was at Graceland or in Palm Springs or wherever they was living, California, wherever it was, I think Priscilla probably did have a couple of years where she just hoped that Elvis could be there for her and would spend more time with her and wouldn't keep going on movie sets, because obviously he was making his movies and he was making 2, maybe 3 movies a year in 63, 64, 65, those years. So remember, Priscilla acts as if she was stuck at home, all miserable, waiting for Elvis. But no, Priscilla had the run of the house. She could do what she wants. She had friends staying. She had family staying. She literally had a bottomless pit of money to do whatever she wanted to. She did not have a tough life. And Elvis would come back to Priscilla and take her on holidays and spend a lot of time with her. And I don't know if you know all about the stables and all the horses. They had many hobbies, and they had a brilliant time between 63 up to the marriage. So we know they married in 67, and Frank Sinatra loaned his aeroplane. Sorry about that, that's my wife. Loaned his aeroplane so that they could get married. And we know about we've all seen the wedding footage. We've all seen the footage where he carries her over the threshold, and the other footage where he gives her the engagement ring. So yes, they had some happy times, of course. Yeah, it wasn't all bad, but Priscilla does try and paint a picture that she was the victim and that it was really tough and horrible. I'm not buying it, guys. I think that Priscilla had the time of her life. She was with the most famous man in the world. And of course, Elvis was going to go off and make his movies. And eventually he went off and did his concert tours. She married a musician. She married the most famous man in the world. She knew exactly what she was getting into. So to then complain that he was going away, doing his concerts, making his movies, it just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. And let me just read some of these comments. Priscilla has done some despicable things. It seems all she does is only for her benefit, not in the spirit of Elvis at all. The Scientology connection is making me so angry. I agree. I can't stand Scientology. So, Joe, I'm not calling Priscilla yeah, but you know. Yeah, I know, Joe. I know. She's not the innocent girl that we all think she was. It's called adultery. They were both unfaithful to each other. But as a defender of Elvis, I personally think from 68 onwards, Elvis felt like a single man. And I think that the different people he was seeing after 68 was because in his mind, they weren't a couple anymore. They were just parents to Lisa Marie Presley. And Lisa Marie Presley is what mattered. This is what I think, definitely from 68 onwards. So if you really break down their relationship, they probably only had, I would say, 4 years of happiness. 4 years of happiness. And stuff was happening that was wrong on Priscilla's side as well. And if you read the Child Bride book, there's a whole new story coming out now, or has been. The book was released in 1997, but when you start reading things like the Child Bride book, you start to understand there's more to it. It isn't a simple story of just, oh, Elvis treated me bad and was unfaithful, and because of him we split up. No, that's not what happened here. There was bad things happening on Priscilla's side as well. And Elvis wasn't the bad guy all the time, and Priscilla wasn't always the victim. I actually think Elvis was the victim many times. Seriously, guys. So, right. So, anyway, we were following a bit of a timeline. And so we get to around 71. She's off with Mike Stone. I know that she made the decision to tell Elvis that she wanted out around 72. And by 73, the divorce was finalized. So anyway, we've sort of gone on a tangent here, guys, because I was talking about Riley Keough and Daniel Keough. But I understand, guys, you lot are very upset with Priscilla, and you've got a lot to say about her. And so, hey, honey, yes, the parents may have been involved. You know, he was a golden goose. Elvis was a golden goose, wasn't he? So money can make people do funny things. But when it comes to Priscilla, I just think she just fancied men. Honestly, guys, you know, we all accuse Elvis of being the one with a wandering eye that fell in love very easily. But she was doing it as well, guys. Priscilla was a beautiful woman. She could get any man she wanted. And I tell you now, the men were falling for Priscilla very easily, and from a very young age as well. So That's that, guys. So let's have a look. I think what we're going to do, I think I'm going to end this live by just going through some of your comments, because you've been sending me quite a lot of comments. So we're going to go off the subject of Riley Keough and Daniel Keough, and I'm just going to read some comments from the top. I don't know what they're going to say. These are new comments, and I'm just going to see what they say. Right. So in this one is about Priscilla. I agree. I don't think ever. This is Joe Man. Priscilla destroyed Elvis. I think she did a lot of damage. I really do. She still is harming his image and his legacy. And I have very strong views about the Priscilla film. It should not have been made, guys. It was so unfair on Elvis. Again, making Elvis out to be the victim. I mean, the bad guy, and Priscilla the victim. It's not true. That film should never have been made. She knew that Lisa Marie Presley did not want her to make that film. She knew that Lisa Marie Presley had written a letter to Sofia Coppola asking her not to make that film. But Priscilla still went ahead and made it. It's disgusting. And then even after Lisa Marie Presley passed away, within weeks, Priscilla was going around the world promoting the film. What is that? Your daughter has died and you're running around the world promoting a film that is basically rubbishing her father. It's disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be grieving over your daughter. You should be with your grandchildren. Come on. Not promoting a film that is rubbishing Lisa Marie's father, your ex-husband. And anyway, don't get me started on the whole using the Presley name. We know damn well that she should not be using the Presley name. Should not be using it. She gave up that name. Since when do people give up a name and then take it back after the person has died? It doesn't make sense, does it, guys? It does not make sense. And so anyway, let's just read this. I understand Priscilla opened Graceland for the fans, in which I was grateful. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She was the front person. The wheels were already in motion to open Graceland as a living museum. And yes, Priscilla was asked to step in and be the front person to help push it forward. But she is not the reason the Graceland was not sold off. I don't agree. I don't believe it. I think there's no way they were going to sell Gracelands off, and they were going to find a way to get that museum open and make it pay for itself and keep it together. Come on, guys. Priscilla is not the reason Elvis's legacy is still going. The fans are the reason Elvis's legacy is still going. Us, you and me, the fans, we keep Elvis's legacy alive. We don't need Gracelands. We love Gracelands, and we love, all of us would love to go to Graceland and visit it and see where Elvis lived, where his family lived, where Lisa Marie lived. We all would love to go there. But if it wasn't there, we'd still love Elvis. We would still love Elvis. That's the truth of it. A wife can take down her husband. Well, if they're vindictive enough, it's possible. It's possible. So let's keep reading. However, in the complicated relationship with Elvis, the red flags there were, I understand that in the divorce that she went back 3 times for more money. And yes, I definitely know of 2 times because I've seen the documentation. You can find the divorce documentations online. There's quite a few Elvis sites on YouTube that clearly show the divorce papers, how Priscilla kept going back for more and more money and property and cars, even a motorcycle, even a bank account. Priscilla was really going for it, and she was never happy. She always wanted more. Let's keep reading, right. Elvis being caring, I'm sure he would have always looked at her. And of course, Lisa Marie, there is, in my opinion, an emotional disconnect, I think, and that confuses fans. And you're talking about how Priscilla is grieving for Lisa Marie. I agree. There is an emotional disconnect. It's like she's not grieving. It's like it never happened. Priscilla Presley is going around the world doing one-to-one appearances. She was at Comic-Con signing autographs for money. She's done quite a few interviews. And she's done all this after Lisa Marie died. What is that? Why doesn't she grieve? I don't understand it. Please explain to me why Priscilla Presley does not grieve for her daughter and her grandchild, Benjamin. It doesn't make sense. Right, Nadia. Hi, Nadia. Nice to see you again. Right. Elvis must be spinning in his grave, you say. Graceland must not have been such a bad place. She is putting so much effort in to take over. Come on. Graceland was paradise. It was paradise. Priscilla had the time of her life at Graceland. How can you be a poor victim and live in a place like Graceland? It's ridiculous. Joy Lang, where is all her money? She doesn't have any feelings at all. So, yeah, I agree. What has she done with all her money? So, I'll tell you what I will say, Joy, and thanks for joining us, Joy. Let me know where you're from. My name's Louis. Nice to meet you. But you think about this, right? Just before 2016, Priscilla Presley and Barry Siegel, using Elvis Presley Enterprises, tried to take away Lisa Marie's control of that company. They tried to do it in a way so Lisa Marie could not spend money. And then Lisa Marie Presley found out this was happening, and this is why there was a lawsuit against Barry Siegel, and Barry Siegel lost that lawsuit, and Priscilla Presley panicked and tried to sell her home for $3.8 million to pay back Lisa Marie Presley to stop a lawsuit from happening by her daughter, Lisa Marie. You imagine that? Priscilla Presley tried to take over Elvis Presley Enterprise with Barry Siegel behind her daughter's back, and that's when Lisa Marie found out about the $900,000 a year payment that Priscilla Presley was taking every year. She didn't even know about it. That's her own mother. That is how her mother treated her daughter. It's disgusting. Disgusting. I'm in Tennessee, been to Graceland, and it was beautiful. Now it's over commercialized. Hi, Joy. And do you know what? I had this conversation yesterday, Joy, and that is, let me just get a bit of light in here. It's a bit, is that too bright? Is that going to go too bright? Let me just turn a light on a minute, because it's getting a bit too dark in this room. That's better. Right, I'm not sat in a dark room anymore. My kids are upstairs. My wife's upstairs. They don't want me to go up there. They're watching Love Island. Do you get Love Island where you are, guys? I can't watch Love Island. It's not my cup of tea. So anyway, we were talking about, let's have a look. Let me just read this. How can Priscilla stand over Elvis Presley's grave and smile? Yeah. Right, Graceland, it was beautiful. Now it's over-commercialized. Right, let me just comment on that. That was from Joy Lang. Right, so I've been looking at all the websites, the Graceland.com website, and I've watched Jack Sodden, who is one of the top men at Elvis Presley Enterprises. He seems like a nice guy. And then you've got Joel Weishankar, who to me is the king of Elvis Presley Enterprises. And I know he was good friends with Lisa Marie Presley, and he would stand at the podium every year on Elvis's birthday and make a speech. And he seems like a nice enough guy. But I will say this, and I think his company might be called something like ACEN or something like that. I can't remember the name of the company. Now, these companies are running Elvis Presley Enterprises. And yes, they own 85% of Elvis Presley Enterprises, and Riley Keough owns 15%. But Elvis Presley Enterprises has the controlling rights of Graceland. I know Graceland still belongs to Riley Keough and the twins, but the controlling part of Elvis Presley Enterprises controls Graceland. Now, what is that all about? I know there's been these massive, can you turn that down? What is that? I know there's been, hello, sneaky people. That's the wife and the child sneaking around the fridge. Hi. Bye. Having a chocolate bar, are we? Chocolate. Anyway, so as I was saying, We've got these massive companies, Elvis Presley Enterprise, and there's other companies that are running all the merchandising and all the other stuff, yeah, and the copyright stuff, and they're controlling Graceland. So it's all about profit, and then boosting. Hello, little sneaky. Are you a rabbit? Huh? He's behind you. I can hear him squeaking on his phone. No. He was just with you just then. He was just with you. Yeah. They might have gone upstairs. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm trying to be serious. It's all profit. How can I boost the profit? Let's build a massive hotel. Let's buy loads of land and add more different ways of making money. Yeah, where is the soul of Graceland? We want the soul. Elvis wouldn't have wanted Gracelands to be all about making as much money as possible, like a cash cow. Let's turn Gracelands into a cash cow. Yeah, Elvis wouldn't have wanted that. He would have loved the fans visiting him, seeing his home, seeing the rooms that he decorated, that he designed. Elvis would love that. But did he want it to become a cash cow in the way that it has now become? Because companies have taken over, and it's all about making money. Money. No, it's the other way around. Elvis would have just given away all the money. Come on, let's face it, guys. We know what Elvis was like. He just gave all his money away. Elvis would have done it free entry. Don't you think? It would have been free entry. That's just, come on. We know Elvis. It wasn't all about take. Elvis was give. Right, let me just have a look at this. So, let me just get her first affair was with Lisa Marie, was born with her dance instructor. Yes, I know about that. Steve Peck. Poor Lisa. Yeah. Let's keep listening. Child bride. So Joy Lang, child bride, told all her secrets and it wasn't true. She would have sued the author. Right, now with Child Bride, I've done some research into Child Bride. I have read quite large sections of it. And I say this, that Suzanne Finstad, the author, she says that she recorded every single interview she ever did for Child Bride, and she even documented it. I want to see those recordings. I want to see from the horse's mouth the things that were being said by Priscilla's friends that knew Priscilla in 1959, 1960, that knew her properly. I want to see it from the horse's mouth. So, because we don't really know what is and isn't true in Child Bride, do we? I want to know the truth. And don't forget, it was rewritten in 1990. No, it was released in 1997. Then it was re-released, wasn't it? So there was an updated version of Child Bride. Right, let's just read the next comment. I went in 1985. This is Joy Lang, and it was still private and holy ground. She redid the house. It isn't what it was when Elvis died. We paid $25 to get into it, and Lisa Marie and the Lisa Marie. Eric Crawford. Okay, hi Eric Crawford. Priscilla is now more plastic than human. I tell you what, whoever has been doing her plastic surgery, they've done some damage there, guys. Because I know she's 79. But come on, it don't look right, does it? It's like a mask, you know. I don't want to be cruel. But it doesn't look great, does it, guys? Priscilla is now brought up right. Let's have a look. Joe Mann. Priscilla was man crazy. Do you know what? I think she was. I actually think Priscilla had a soft spot for men and fell for men quite easily. Come on, Mike Stone wasn't good looking like Elvis. No way. Nothing, nowhere near as good looking as Elvis. I think Priscilla started out to do the right thing, but got swept up with the celebrity thing. I can see that. It's possible. We don't really know, do we? Because I think once that she had it under her belt that, I have been intimate with Elvis and I've spent time with Elvis. Elvis poured out all his secrets to me. This is in 1959. Once she had that was the weapon, wasn't it? That was the golden gun. Elvis told me stuff he never told anyone else. And I think At first, she might have been infatuated with him. At first, she might have felt special and lucky. But when Elvis went off to back to America in 1960 to do his thing, then it became a plot to get to America, to live with Elvis, to get some of the money, some of the fame. Everything changed because she had a choice. I can carry on and just be a normal person and get on with my life, meet normal people, have a normal life, or I can follow the gravy train of Elvis and I could become rich, successful, have everything I have ever dreamed of, and I could be part of Elvis's life, Elvis's fame. I could live at Graceland. So there was a golden pot to be had. So I think she followed the golden pot, and maybe the parents joined in as well. I don't have any proof, but I don't think it was, oh, poor me. Oh my God, I was forced to go to America and live in Graceland, and then I was took advantage of, and he was so mean to me, and he was always unfaithful, and I was always lonely. No, guys, I'm not falling for it. It was this money. And Priscilla, right until today, 2024, still wants this. If you look at Priscilla's interviews, you watch the jobs that she's doing around the world, and you watch the signing autographs for money and the one-to-one personal appearances and the Piers Morgan interview. You watch Priscilla, it's all about the money. It is. And who at 79 is running around the world trying to make more money? Who sues their own granddaughter for power, for money? Who does that in public, in front of everyone? And do any of you guys know about the Bridget Cruz lawsuit that's happening? The auctioneer, Bridget Cruz, that tried to save Priscilla from going bankrupt. Do you know about this, guys? She was months from going bankrupt. And Bridget Cruz came along and came up with a savior plan to save Priscilla from going bankrupt. And they set up a company called Priscilla Presley Partners. And Bridget Cruz did some contracts for Priscilla to sign. And she videoed these. When she was signing these contracts, she made sure that it was recorded what Priscilla Presley agreed to. So don't forget, I think Bridget Cruz has a background as a lawyer, so she did things properly. And now Priscilla there's a lawsuit. She's denying all of it. She's saying that she didn't know what she was signing and that Bridget Cruz is up to no good and she's going back on everything she agreed. Now, what is that all about? Who does that? Someone comes along and saves you from insolvency, from bankruptcy, yeah, and then you change your mind and go, sod off, you don't exist, it didn't happen, and you're the bad person, which is basically what she did to Elvis on the divorce papers, isn't it? And it's basically what she did to Lisa Marie with the alterations to the trust. She basically said that it wasn't true, it was all a big lie, it never happened. Come on, guys, are we all stupid? Does Priscilla think that Elvis fans are stupid? Seriously, if you ever watch this, Priscilla, do you think we're all stupid? You can't alter your story because let's face it, since the early 80s, she's been getting interviewed, and we know the story has been doing this, changing, gradually changing, and we know us fans I've been a fan of Elvis for over 50 years. Many of you have been fans of Elvis for over 60 years, and you know that you can go back over the decades and she has been changing her story. And yes, Priscilla will praise Elvis. You watch Priscilla in an interview and she'll spend half an hour praising Elvis. She will. Elvis was great. He was lovely. He's the love of my life. I can't live without him. I was devastated when he died. She'll play the widow even though she wasn't a widow. She'll do that, but then she'll go, oh, but he was controlling and he had a bad temper and he couldn't help it being unfaithful because he was so loved and adored. And she throws in her little comments. Elvis did this to me. Elvis did that to me. But she does it very slyly. And she's clever how she does it. She waits for the interviewer to ask the question. Oh, you had a big age difference, didn't you? Oh, yes, but it was accepted in the 50s and 60s to have an age difference. But she's admitted it. Then, oh, did Elvis have a bad temper? Oh, he did have a bad temper, but most of the time he was nice. She's clever with it. Oh, was Elvis unfaithful? Yeah, he was unfaithful, but, what do you expect? He was a superstar, so it must have been tough for him. She always gives a sly answer, but it still paints him out to be like with the medication. Oh, he was a drug addict. Oh, well, he did need medication for going to sleep and waking up, and he took them in the army. She's very clever on how she answers a question to try and look as the innocent person. But the truth is, she's bad-mouthing him. She's painting a bad picture of him as a person. She's ruining his legacy and his image because she's indirectly giving answers that are harming his reputation. And the Priscilla film just says it all, doesn't it? The Priscilla film is like, here you go, guys. I was good. He was bad. I was the victim. He was the bad guy. Come on. Who does that? Let me just read some of these comments. Yeah, the golden plot. It was a golden plot. Eric Crawford, thanks for joining in. The film made her money. And even that, Lisa Marie Presley has died. Priscilla Presley is the executive producer of the film, of Sofia Coppola's film, yeah? And she's going around the world after her daughter's died promoting a film. Come on, guys. There was one where she even cried an interview. Did you see that at the press conference after the Priscilla film was made? Was it a Cannes festival? I'm not sure. She was crying over Elvis 60 odd years. How many years later was it since they divorced? Because don't forget they divorced in 73. Do the maths, guys. He was the love of my life, even though I left him. Come on. He was with other women. He was with two other women after you left him. He was with Linda Thompson, she was lovely for 4 years. I know he wasn't with Ginger Alden for long, but Priscilla had moved on. You were with all these other guys. Who was after Mike Stone? Was it Richard Kardashian? Yeah. Who was after Richard Kardashian? Was it Michael Edwards? Yeah. Who tried to touch up your daughter? Isn't that? Have you seen the book, guys? Michael Edwards, Elvis, Priscilla and Me. He tried to touch up Lisa Marie Presley. Come on. What's that all about? It's disgusting. And then after Mike Edwards, who came next? I'm trying to remember. It's late at night, guys. I'm tired. Marco Garibaldi. Now, I don't know enough about him. I know that he lied to her and said he was Italian. It turns out he was Brazilian. But he introduced Barry Siegel to Lisa Marie Presley, Marco Garibaldi. She was with Marco Garibaldi for over 20 years, but she says Elvis was the love of her life. Elvis was the love of her life, even though she was with Marco Garibaldi for 22 years. Come on, guys. Yeah, isn't that the father? I'm getting confused now because it's late. But isn't that Navarrone's father? I'm pretty sure it's Navarrone's father. Now, the way that Navarrone speaks about Lisa Marie Presley is disgusting. Yeah? So she's had a few other boyfriends after Marco Garibaldi. One was Nigel Lithgow. Michael Edwards said she had a one-night stand with Richard Gere. You've got Julio Iglesias, may have had an affair with her around 1980. There's other people that are mentioned that Priscilla has had affairs with, but she still says Elvis Presley was the love of her life. Elvis Presley was the love of her life, even though they divorced and she had many other partners. Come on, we're not dumb. Elvis fans are not dumb. Elvis was not the love of your life. You were not his widow. You were not his widow. You took back his name. You gave up the name Presley and you took it back after he died. Come on. Too much, guys. Too much. Now, I know I'm being very passionate and emotional about Priscilla. I don't hate Priscilla. Do not hate her. I'm not trying to make hate. I'm trying to say, as an Elvis fan who loves Elvis, that I've been put in a position by my subscribers to do my research and start learning about Priscilla and all the things that have gone on, going right back to 1959. And I found out so many things that Priscilla has done wrong to Elvis that I feel a duty now to tell the truth, to find out the truth, to get to the truth. Let's really find out what Priscilla has really done wrong to Elvis. I personally think that Priscilla has rewritten history. She has rewritten the story, the narrative of what's happened with Elvis from 1959 right till today. And I don't think it's right. I don't think that someone should be able to tell their version of things that are not true. And the problem you've got is the press, the media, the magazines, the news, the biographies, the documentaries have all bought into Priscilla's version of what happened. So if you're not an Elvis fan, you're basically thinking, you're believing the story, like the book Elvis and Me. You're believing that narrative, and almost like it's set in concrete. This version of Priscilla's version is what happened, is the truth. No, it's not. It's not the truth. Actually, if Elvis was alive today, he could tell the truth. He could tell the truth. He could say, you're lying there. You're lying there. I forgave you there. I gave you that money. I didn't do that. You did this. That's the truth. Yeah. So the only way we're going to get to the truth is if you Elvis fans, in comments on all these different Elvis YouTube channels, keep telling everyone, this is what happened. This is the truth. Did you know this? Did you know that? And this is how I've learned. Because from your comments as Elvis fans, I've learned so much. The reason I can sit here for over an hour and talk to you about all these different facts that I've learned about Elvis is because of you guys telling me. That's the truth of it. Anyway, it's getting late, so I'm going to call it a day. All of you, thanks for joining in. I could go on and on and on. I hope you enjoy my live streams. I really appreciate it when you guys comment and join in. If you don't watch this till later, hello to you, because I know many of you come and watch these live streams after they're finished. I appreciate all the people that have joined in as well. And please comment. Please comment. If you've enjoyed it, give me a like, give me a subscribe. I always am happy with new subscribers. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. I'm going to give you a wave. Goodbye. I'll just say the people that I can see on my screen. So, hey, honey, thanks. Eric, thank you. Joe, thank you. Nadia, thank you. Joy, thank you. That's all the ones that I can see on here. I'll see if I can scroll up, see if it's going to let me. Probably not. Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah, Valerie as well. Thank you. Okay. Have a great evening. It is 5 minutes to 10 p.m. in the UK, Southwest UK. And my name's Louis. Thanks, guys. All the best. I'll give you a wave.